Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. My name is Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm an intuitive reader and spiritual medium. Today we're talking all about the air signs. This is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So what we're going to do is a kind of overarching reading first for all the air signs. It kind of gives us our theme for the week, and then I'll break off and do the individual signs. Thank you so much for joining me. I love doing these readings and I love sharing this information with you. So there's a lot of information that's going to come through. So just take what really speaks to you and kind of keep the other things in a file. So let's start. We have some pentacles to start the week. The energy around you, we've got the Two of Pentacles, and we've got the Six of Pentacles for how you're going to feel. Now, and rather, it's how you're going to respond to the interaction. In this one here, the Two of Pentacles, we are talking about equal give and take. We're talking about balance, and we're talking about keeping things grounded and keeping yourself aware of what's going on. So you know when to give a little bit, when to pull back, when to put more of yourself in, when to pull back. So this is really the key to understanding what you need to do this week and for a lot of you in your relationships, because this is talking about keeping everything in perfect balance. And the thing about this card, they're saying the word efficiency. So nothing is wasted. There's nothing extra. And sometimes when the Two of Pentacles comes up, it can be that there's not enough to go around, but they're saying efficiency, which means there's just enough to keep things in balance. Now, the way a lot of you are going to respond is by overgiving. You're going to maybe feel like you have to give more. And there are some of you that are actually undergiving in your relationships where you're not stepping up enough to give more. So what they're saying to us is this is not in balance. It's out of balance, and it's your challenge this week to figure out how to bring things back into balance. Now, the advice is really interesting. We may kind of go on a tangent with this. We've got the Magician, we've got the Ace of Wands, and then we've got the Nine of Swords. Now, what this means is we've got two different ideas of a new beginning set up. We've got the Magician, which is a big force. This is a big it's a big energy that you can't help, like things that incubate for a long time, things that build for a long time, and finally you're like, yes, this is what I have to do, and something shoots you forward. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is talking about the involvement of your passion in your heart. So we're literally talking about passion project here. And when we have the Nine of Swords blocking it, it's saying to me that you know exactly what this passion project is, but it's hard to get it off the ground. You're worried about getting it off the ground. You're not sure how to show up. Now we go back to the beginning of the week with all the pentacles, and part of that is because you're not sure how much to give. You're not sure how much to take. So I am really hoping when we do the individual signs, this will become a little bit more clear, because right now I'm just kind of feeling a general sense of what's going on. But the takeaway is that we're talking about proper give and take so that you have the energy for your passion project and you can get it off the ground. Some of you may be also worrying about how this is going to affect those relationships, and that's again the equal give and take. So we've got a little figuring out to do, but this gives us our starting point. So let's dive in right away with, okay, it's like between Libra and Gemini. They're like right there fighting in my head. Okay, we're going to start with Gemini. So please give us a message for Gemini. Okay, and they're saying 4 cards. All right, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Death card. Death card is going into the Ace of Pentacles, Star going into the Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups going into the Star. Okay, and we just had some aces. We just had some beginnings. So Gemini, you're being asked to think practically. We're being asked to put your feet on the ground a bit more. And okay, I see what's going on. You've been having, I remember the High Priestess for a couple weeks, so we've been talking a lot about intuition. And this is about putting that plan into action where it transmutes, it transforms from being an idea that you're passionate about to something you're actually putting your feet on the ground for. So this is talking about that energy you feel When you know you're connected to your intuition, when you know you're connected to the other side, when you know you're connected to your higher self, and you feel this kind of exhilaration, and it feels like relief because you may have been a little bit off from it. But what's being asked of you now is to let go of that feeling of that feeling of relief and really put the plans into action. So it's kind of like stop talking, do something. Because the fact that you've come home to that intuition is not enough. We have to be willing to transform that intuition into something real. And I think sometimes that's not so attractive because what's real is kind of boring. And sometimes the glitter goes away, the sparkle goes away, the shininess goes away. When it's this beautiful idea and this lovely feeling you've got, it's so tantalizing, it's so seductive to want to stay in that glamour. But they're saying, no, you got to get your feet on the ground. You've got to start putting things in gear. And for some of you, this is your health. That just shot through my head. So, coming back to what you know you need to do to get things done, it's not enough just to have the plan to do it. You actually need to put this plan into action one step at a time. And they're saying patience. We're talking about a slow build. We're talking about a long build. And that is not always the most fun for you, I know, because you'd like things quick, quick, quick. But we've got to start laying the foundation now. This is the week to do that. Okay, so Gemini, I'm assuming off you go. If you happen to be a Gemini and you're saying goodbye to us right now, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this with other Geminis or other air signs in your life. As you know, I also do the other elements, the water signs, the air, the fire signs, and the earth signs. So again, really helps if you share, if something speaks to you, if you feel compelled to share, because this information is actually really for all of us. Okay, we're moving on to Aquarius. Okay, and again, 4 cards. Oh boy, guys, what are you doing? All right. Okay, we're talking a lot about self-doubt this week, and we're talking a lot about self-doubt that was planted by a mother figure. So things can't grow unless we also relate to them. So self-doubt can't grow in you if the ground isn't right for that. But we're talking about the seed of self-doubt that was planted by a female figure, a feminine energy. And someone from the past. Let me just tell you what we've got. We've got the Queen of Wands, we've got the 2 of Swords, we've got the Judgment card, which is another 2, and we've got the Moon. All right, so the past is coming back in that form of a mother figure, mother energy. It's also, maybe something that your mother once said that just kind of stuck in there, and it latched in there. It's showing me a lamprey. You know what a lamprey is? It's those weird eel-like things that have those creepy looking mouths, and they latch onto a fish, and the fish, it's a parasite, so it's latched on there, and the fish just swims around doing its thing, but they're feeding this parasite. Oh, those things creep me out, but that's what they're showing me. So this thought has lodged inside of you, and you're not really aware of it because it's not stopping you from getting your stuff done, but it's time to look at it now. It's a parasitic thought that is not actually benefiting you. It's hurting you. And the reason is because you're being asked to step up. You're being asked to step out on a stage where you might be more prominent. The spotlight's going to shine on you a bit more. And you are really hesitant to do that because of that doubt that is sitting there in your head. And that you've swam around with it for a long time. It's amazing. You see these fish with lampreys, and it's not just one. It's like a bunch of them. It's like a whole colony of lampreys lashed onto this one fish. So what that is also saying to me is this is not just one belief. This is a lot of stuff that's weaving its way around your confidence, and you're not able to step out into that magnetic, warm, and really important place that you need to be. You've got all these cards, the 2 of Swords, the Moon, kind of pushing you against that, saying, no, you can't do it. It's not your moment to shine. Let's look at these cards for a second. There's a lot of warm reds and oranges, and the image isn't really clear. She's giving a concert. She's playing the harp, and all of nature is watching her. Now look at these 2 cards by contrast. They're cool, and they're kind of gray. you need to be this, but there's this grayness. It's like it's putting out your fire. So advice, really, look at those lamprey thoughts, and they're little things that just kind of prick at you. It's not like a big overarching belief that you need to sit there and dismantle with a hammer and a chisel. We're talking about these little zingers, these little things that just like you go to try something and it zings. Nope, you can't do it. You were this, da 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 da. It's very specific wording. It's like a very strong memory, but it's associated with just this little phrase. So collect those little phrases, and you have to understand, and you have to be willing to say to yourself when that little phrase comes up, that's not me. That is not me. That is not my truth. That is my self-doubt. So you're acknowledging it. You're saying, hey, yeah, lamprey, I see you. You're aware of it. You're not trying to rip it apart or shut it down, but you are organizing it into not helpful for me. So there's helpful for you and not helpful for you. So it's giving you a little bit of a clarity and organization. And once it's clear and organized, it's going to be very easy to break off that attachment because the attachment to the thought. I'm breaking off a lamprey right now, because it won't have anything to feed on. If you don't let it be there, it's not going to take your blood anymore. And I know that's kind of gross, but lampreys are pretty gross, and whatever's going on in your mind is pretty gross. So if you got questions about that, please reach out in the comments. Be happy to clarify anything for you. But I know you're going to know, because the thought is so clear. Those tiny little thoughts, it's so clear. Okay, anything else? So this is time to address it now, because they want this gone for good. This is our judgment card, the day of judgment. This is Armageddon, when the world ends and the souls get sorted out. That's what this card is talking about. And so I think that this is going to start you on a whole brand new path. That's really exciting. And I'm so excited to see what happens in the coming weeks when you decide to step into this Queen of Wands, because these lampreys have to be gone forever. And that's why it's this week. That's why this needs to happen. Okay, and then Libra, last but not least, and they're saying 5 cards. Okay, 2 from the top. Okay, middle 3. All right. Okay, this is great. Oh, I'm so relieved about these cards. All right, we've got the 5 of Cups. We've got the King of Pentacles. We have got the Tower, and we've got the 8 of Cups, and we end, I love this, in the Queen of Cups. So this is kind of work in progress, right? Let me put some of these down, because we've really got 3 things happening in our story. We've got the 5 of Cups, which talks about sadness in the past. But what's very exciting to me is that you're dropping that. It's facing away from the spread. We're kind of done with the just feeling sorry for yourself, and you're ready to do the work. And what I see here is dismantling. This is the energy of dismantling a belief system about fathers, a belief system about money, a belief system about anything on the earth plane that you believe is necessary for your sustenance and for your survival. And there's actually another card talking about that, the 8 of Cups. And I'm really emphasizing the idea of the earth, the superficial, the stuff, the materials, because you're realizing in this combination of cards that the earthly stuff is not it for you. It's not providing you the spiritual happiness, the spiritual benefit and growth that you're looking for. And it's all because of the hang-ups about this. And like I said, father figure is a big thing, and we're talking about tearing this down. But you have to understand that we have to tear down the emotional ties to this. So it's not just logically sorting it out in your head. I mean, I know Libras, you're so logical and you get this lovely world going on in your head. But this is talking about finally admitting to yourself that this emotional attachment to this ideal isn't doing it for you anymore, and that it's the emotional attachment that's actually causing you the grief. It's causing you the sadness, causing you the heartache. And this is a big moment, but what is so exciting to me is that she comes along, the Queen of Cups. And there's so much that I could say about this card. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. But what this means is heightened intuition, heightened emotional maturity. It means emotional mastery from the feminine energy. Now, what the heck does that mean? Do you remember at the beginning of the reading, at the beginning of this video, how we were talking about give and take and not being sure when to give too much, when to not give? She knows. She knows because she's in tune with her heart. She's in tune with her intuition. She keeps her emotions under control. She doesn't allow herself to be swept away by them because she has mastered them. She's comfortable with them. You see how the sky and the sea are one? Because her intuition and emotions are one thing. She's not overwhelmed by the negative emotions that the intuition shuts off, and the intuition isn't so brilliant that the emotions are completely shut down. It's in this perfect balance, and she moves between the two of them. So because of this, you are showing up as undergiving in your relationship, and most of it is from an emotional standpoint, because you're so caught up in this outer world, the money, the pentacles, the earthly stuff, the earthly status. And this is saying, no, this is where we're going. We're done. We're done being this. We're ready to go here. I'm ready to go home to myself. And she's such a powerful figure. When I put these two together, I see that he's static. He's rooted into the ground, which makes him very stable. But to me, she's more stable because she can deal with change. She doesn't have to look where she's going, because wherever she goes, she's going to step on a turtle. She's going to step on that old knowledge, that old wisdom that's sustaining. And so her flexible wisdom and her flexible way of being is so much more powerful than this guy, even though he's, quote, higher in rank. You just kind of look at the difference in the artwork. So I've rambled on about this because I'm so excited about this, because this is the key to balancing in your relationships. This is the key to balancing your stuff. Other thing, remember, those balancing cards were all Pentacles cards, this guy. And they're saying the key is to let go of this, to understand that emotionally this doesn't work for you. And then you've got to come into your power as that feminine, emotional, intuitive energy that is synthesized and connected together and tells you, so that you can feel when it's out of balance, so that you can feel when you need to give more, so you can feel when you need to pull back. And it's not based on a calculation of what the other person is in terms of their materials, in terms of their status, in terms of what they bring, in terms of keeping score, in terms of all those things. It's totally based on your authentic self, which is the union of the intuition and the emotion. Oh, well, thank you guys for sticking with me. That was a great message for Libra. I'm really, again, excited for you. And as always, please like and subscribe to this channel. Great way to support it. And share. Please share, share, share. So I will look forward to seeing you next week, and have a good one.